Welcome back to Gela's Tap House. It has been far too long since my last episode. I know what you're thinking. Pat, you left us hanging. We had to fend for ourselves for the last couple months, and you didn't even give us a finale. A season 1 finale. Everyone's been waiting on it, been hyped up, and you didn't give it. Well, I did. So, when the Titans, because I'm a huge Titan fan, as you know, were playing the Patriots in the playoffs, I shot a video before that. And all the beers were fantastic. The show was amazing. I took about 15, 20 minutes maybe. There was comedy, there was in-depth reviews, there was so much information on the beers and the breweries, and I checked in my 100th beer on the show. Boom, it was perfect. Every beer was over 14%. They were heavy stouts because it was wintertime. It was something you needed to get through it, and it was good to go. The show was amazing. Well, after those 15% beers and drinking the flights, I got a little drunk. And I went upstairs after the show, and I drank the rest of those beers, and I was too hammered to do anything about it. And then I wanted to upload the video the next day, and I realized I never hit record. So, learned my lesson. Drinking before shooting a show and then doing all high alcohol beers is a big no-no. Not going to do that anymore, but that's okay, because we are back with Season 2, Episode 1. And I kind of brought some things from that episode here. So today I'm going with heavy hitters, stouts to start off. Everything is over 13%. And, you know, it's still kind of wintertime. We're going into spring and summer, so we're going to have some things. But we're here. And then another reason I had a break is because I gained like 30 pounds from episode 1 to the last episode. If you go look, there's a complete body transformation there, not for the good. It's not like I was like bulking up or anything. Like, it all went right here. It was quite fucking excessive, if you ask me, 30 pounds. So I had to take a couple months off. I did not lose the 30 pounds, if you were wondering. It's still there. I've only lost about 20 pounds. So, still have some way to go, but I need to do it. It is what it is. But let's just go ahead and tackle it. If you don't remember the reviewing system, because it's been a couple months since I shot a video, just go watch episode 1 of season 1, and we're here. But season 2, we're kicking it off, and we're ready. Also thought this was a good time to shoot it. St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday, and most people are quarantined, can't go anywhere because of the coronavirus. So, here we go. Alright, first up I have Mash Hard Imperial Stout. This is from J.Wakefield in Horse Aged Ales. You've heard me talk about Horse before when I did the Midnight Eagle over Christmas. Now, this is from J.Wakefield, which is in Miami. Went to Miami recently. Fun fact, got a rental car. Now I'm buying a Mustang convertible, apparently. My wife says we need it, so I guess we're getting one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But J.Wakefield's probably one of the best breweries in the area. They have a huge beer festival there, and you should probably go check it out if you have the time and the money, because it's kind of an expensive beer fest. But they do really good stuff. While you're down there, though, check out Tripping Animals, and I think I have a beer or two that I can put on the show later for you from there still. Maybe I'll have to check. But go to Tripping Animals. Pretty much they're just great guys, and a lot of the talk that I had with them was about tripping on mushrooms. So that was a very interesting conversation. So Tripping Animals and Three Sons. Three Sons was an amazing place we went to. Super friendly staff, good food. Beer was fantastic. So those are the places I would go if I'm in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. So Mash Hard here. It's coming in at a whopping 13%. It's brewed with a lot of stuff, so I wrote them down. Honey, macadamia nuts, cocoa nibs, vanilla, coffee, coconut, and marshmallows. All of that is packed into this beer. Untapped gives it a 4.42%, which is a really high rating, and I'm just gonna do it for you. Wow. Okay. So I actually ended up with this beer because I was buying bottles, and the bartender asked if I liked sweet stouts or pastry stouts, and I said, yeah. I live in Cincinnati, we're near Listerman's, what she's heard of, and she said, we need to try this Mash Hard. And I was like, okay. So I'm checking it in, I'm trying it right now, and I'm not getting all of the flavors that it's saying that is in there, but it's also kind of cold. If you can't tell, it's a little frosty because I threw it in the fridge, before the freezer before I came down here because I wanted it to be about 55 degrees, left it in a little too long. That's on me. I'm going to retry it again and rate it for you later, but I'm getting a lot of sweet. It's a very nice, powerful stout. 13% you can't tell, but it's got a very nice bourbon finish to it. It warms you up. You get the cocoa. I don't get any of the macadamia nuts. I get a little bit of coconut, but I definitely get the vanilla, I get the coffee, and I get the other stuff. So I'm actually going to let this sit until the end, and I'm going to come back and see if it warms up at all. I'm going to like hold it periodically throughout to see if any of those flavors really burst. But so far, taste for style, you know, it's there. It doesn't have everything that it says it has in it, which Rick said might be on me, so I'll try it again. Drinkability for 13% though, this is dangerous. Super easy to drink. I'm actually really digging it. It's probably going to end up getting me drunk, so we'll come back and we'll review it at the end, but let's just keep going. I do want to shout out Listerman's. That's going to be my next one here. I want to shout out Listerman's for doing a good job. So my new flights, as you can see, these are actually stave glasses, and they're used for like bourbon aged beers, heavy high alcohol beers, and Listerman's came out with this flight for their members, and so big shout out to them. This was a fantastic surprise. Great job. The beer, you can really taste the difference between this and like a snifter. It really works, so good job to you guys. That's excellent. Next up, we have peach discrepancies. So I've had scoring discrepancies on the show. They won a gold medal for that. If you don't remember, go look at our Great American Beer Fest episode from season 1, and I'll talk about scoring discrepancies there. But this is aged in peach brandy barrels. So this is Listermann and Bottle Logic. It comes in at about 4.35 rating on Untappd, and it's 14%. So let's go ahead and just take it. It smells sweet. It smells peachy. I like that. Okay, so my wife said don't drink all these so she can try them and at least check them in on tap, but I don't know. This one I might have to just keep going. Okay, so drinkability for 14%, easy drinking. There is a little bit of barrel-aged, brandy taste on the back end. It's a little boozy, but it complements it weird. The great mouthfeel. It's very full, very excellent done, and it's very solid. So taste for style, you got the peach brandy. I get it in the bag. I get the peach. I get a little bit of the brandy barrel, and it's a good stout. Like, it's a very hefty stout. I really like it. Drinkability, I mean, I'm going to crush it for sure. I could easily chug, like, without even trying. I already drank half of that. It's super tasty. I'm going to recommend sipping on it, though, because it's something that you want to cherish. Really good, really well done. I'm actually quite impressed. Overall rating for this one, full pour. This is fantastic stuff. I wish I would have bought more than these, because these are really good. And Bottle Logic out in California, we've talked about them before too. They do a great job. So this collaboration has just been fantastic. And Listermann's really been killing it with the scoring discrepancies. They came out with all these variants and all these different things. So congrats to them. That's a good beer. Like, I wish I could describe to you how much I really like it, because I want to just keep drinking it. But, we got to move on. Got to do different things. So this one, I'm a little concerned about. And the reason I say that is because I've had Avery beers that have been barrel aged multiple times or aged in different barrels multiple times. And some are so good, I love them. Some of them are so bad, I have a hard time drinking them. I don't waste beer. I don't care if it's a 48% beer that tastes like dog poop. I'm gonna drink it. I don't waste beer. I'm not in this house. My wife doesn't waste beer. I don't waste beer. We're just gonna drink it. So I'm a little skeptical, because I've had some great beers from Avery. I've had some bad beers from Avery, and I'm just ready to dive in, because they do high alcohol beers pretty often. So this is a double barrel maple stout. It's a 15.5%. It was bottled a year ago in April of 2019. So it's a year aged, so maybe some of the alcohol that would have been in there has been died off, hopefully. It is brewed with maple syrup. So what they did is they brewed it, and they put it in maple syrup barrels, and then they put it in bourbon barrels. So maple syrup, coffee, cinnamon should all be in this. It comes in an Untappd at a 4.32. I'm just going to do it. So I'm having a hard time judging it, because it's good. It tastes good. It's a very good stout. It's kind of sweet, but nothing is really overly popping out at me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting much maple. I get sweetness, but I don't get maple. And it's roasty, but I don't think it's coffee roasty, and I'm not getting much cinnamon. So, it's a really good beer. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably going to drink this whole thing in no time. So taste for style, I'm actually going to like, for everything they say that it's on, I'm going to pull back, and I'm not going to say that it's great because it doesn't have the, I don't taste much cinnamon in it. There's very faint taste. Maple syrup, it's sweet, but it's not mapley. Like there's some beers that are over maple and you can just tell. This one doesn't have much maple in it. And coffee, it's roasty, but that just could be from the roasted barley, so I don't get much coffee in it. Drinkability though, at 15.5%, this shit will put you on your ass. Like, wow. I could play drinking games with this, no problem. Super smooth, there is some burn to it, but it's nice. And I like it, I like the way it burns, you know? No one's ever said that about a chlamydia or gonorrhea, but like, I like the way this burns. It's nice. My final overall rating for this one is going to be a 3/4 pour. Mainly because it tastes good, high alcohol, easy drinking, but it just doesn't have all the stuff that I thought was going to be in it. But it is really good. So if you see this on the shelf, go ahead and pick it up, especially if you want to get drunk, because this will definitely get you drunk. So go ahead and pick this up. So I kind of ran through these real quickly because I'm sure the attention span of a lot of people watching normally stop at some point, and that's fine. And they want to know what I have to say about this. So I ran through this. I've went all the way to the Corona, and let's talk about it. Currently, in our country, in the world, there is a pandemic. There's a big issue with coronavirus. There are dumbass people out there who actually believe you can get this from this. There's, like that is probably the dumbest thing I've heard since I've heard that the earth might be flat. Like, those people are dumb, these people are dumber. Like, this is gonna be my new attack group because these people lack intelligence to actually, they're the ones buying all the goddamn toilet paper. It's the coronavirus. You have shortness of breath, you have fever, you have cough, you have basically flu like something. You're not shitting your brains out, people. It's not the shit apocalypse out there. You don't need to buy all the goddamn toilet paper. You don't need to do it. I took a poop today, ran out of toilet paper, because I didn't plan ahead. Went to the store, I had to go to 4 different stores to find toilet paper. This is ridiculous. It is a beer. The virus does not cause diarrhea that I know of, at least it's not been released by the CDC, and that's who I would trust. And people aren't buying this beer. These are stacked everywhere. It's just insane. Good news though. Positive news about this whole virus, this whole thing. At work, I have not sold one essential oil. You're asking why is that a good thing? Because all the anti-vaxxers might have died off. I'm not saying death is good on anybody. I'm talking more about the lifestyle of anti-vaxxers. I'm talking that like they think that these essential oils and all these things will cure all this stuff, and now they're starting to realize that they need help, that they need to get vaccinations, they need to do all these things. So I'm not saying death as in they died, because that would just be completely irresponsible for me to think that's a good idea. I'm talking death as in the movement is finally possibly dead. Okay? Alright. That was my rant, that was my tangent. I was holding that in for so long. Let's just go ahead and do it. I haven't had a Corona in a long time, and normally, you know, I put a lime in it. This is not the appropriate glassware for a Corona. Honestly, I don't think it's going to affect the Corona that much, so cheers. Corona comes in at about 4.6%. It is a Mexican-style lager. They call it an extra Mexican-style lager, or a cerveza. I think I said that right. I'm not good with foreign accents, as we know. We've talked about German beers before. Untapped has it at a 3.08, which is actually pretty high for a pretty common beer in America. So, drinkability, it's crushable. I can see why people drink this on the beach. I can see why they drink it at tailgates, barbecues, things. It's easy to drink. It's not bad. Taste for style, it's not the most flavorful Mexican style lager I've ever had, back to J.Wakefield. Miami actually has a lot of like peppers and beers, and they have a lot of Mexican style lagers down there because of the population that they have is a lot of Hispanics. And you even go to certain places and they mainly speak, at least some of the places I went to, they were speaking mainly Spanish when you were down there. So I don't speak Spanish, so I had a hard time. But so they have these kind of styles. And after drinking craft breweries' take on Mexican lagers, it's hard to really think that like this is a great one. I mean, it's not bad, easy drinking. Taste for style, I mean, it tastes like a Mexican style lager. It tastes what they were going for. It's a little on the weaker end, I would say, than a normal one. But if that's what you're looking for, because you're used to drinking Corona, especially when you put a lime in it, you're going to like it. I think it's a little bit on the weaker end. It doesn't have that full punchy in the face Mexican style. It's more watered down, as a lot of big breweries are. So there's that. Drinkability, it's crushable. You know, like, done. Easy. Not even thinking about it. I like it. It's fine. Overall rating, once again, if I'm at a bar that has endless taps and I'm just picking something, this is a quarter pour, hands down. It's not a bad beer. It's definitely a beer that you could go outside and drink and play games and party and have fun with, for sure. But it's not a beer that I'm going to want a lot of. You know, I would rather drink a Keystone or a Natty probably any day over this one. So that's just my own take on Corona. Hopefully I don't get the virus like a lot of people think, you know. But just in case if this doesn't give me the virus, I have some Chinese food upstairs, some General Tso's, and that might give it to me, and we'll find out. I don't know. But back to this. Let me go ahead and try this again because I was super excited about it, and I want to make sure it has everything in there. Okay. I get more of the macadamia nuts now. The sweetness is definitely some honey. I don't get much coconut. Brewing with coconut is difficult because you can either get too much coconut and then you lose head, or you get no coconut. So I don't get much coconut, but I do get a lot of other things. Taste for style, it's a good imperial stout, 13%. It's really tasty, and they put a lot of flavor in there, so it's definitely sweet. I don't get much marshmallow though. Drinkability, it's crushable at 13. Like, this is going to be no problem, hands down. Horace and them, they both make fantastic beers, so it's going to be good. My overall rating, it's hard because I hate doing this. I'm going to give it a 3/4 pour, just because it doesn't have everything that I was expecting it to have. It's a really good sweet pastry stout, but that's it. There's nothing else to it. And I think Listermann's, once again, shout out to these glasses, make a better pastry stout. And like when they actually make one, it's all the flavors. So yeah, I hate to do it, but got to go 3/4 pour. Great, fantastic beer. I'm going to have no problem drinking this. And if you're ever down there, definitely try one. But 3/4. So, all right, that's it. Now the moment that everyone has been waiting for. I have a special guest today coming all the way from Austin, Texas, the Texas Rattlesnake himself. Taylor, play the music. Just kidding. I got his beer though. He didn't want to come on the show, but I got his beer. So, this is Steve Austin's Broken Skull. And this is made, I don't even know how to say it actually, El Segundo Brewing. It's out in California, so he did take a flight. He went from Austin to California to brew it. It comes in at 6.7%. It's made with Citra, Cascade, and Chinhook hops. It's got a cool can. And basically, if you read the side of it here, you can't, but you can look it up on Untappd or something. You read the description of it, and then now it says, now stop reading, enjoy this awesome drink, or awesome beer is what it says. Cheers, and it's actually Stone Cold's logo. So, let me go ahead and try it for you. Spilled it on myself, but that's all right. Okay, so IPA, a very drinkable IPA. It's pretty crushable. 6.7%, easy, no problem. Taste for style, tastes like an IPA. I get a lot of the Cascade. I don't get much of the Citra hops, but I get the Cascade. I get some of that Chinhook. Drinkability, it's easy. And final overall rating, I'm going to give it a full pour because I really like it. But let's go back to the drinkability for a second. That's what I thought. There's only one real way to drink this. There's only one. So let's go do it. One way to truly drink a Stone Cold Steve Austin beer. And, fun fact, this is a celebration. This is my 100th beer on this show. So, in the great words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, oh hell yeah. Also, Austin 316 is 2 days from now. So make sure you do a Stone Cold Steve Austin video and share it with me. You ready?